Yeah, we're rolling still. Introduce yourself, innit?
Yeah, what's going on? COE. Thanks for having me, bro.
Say nothing, fam. I ain't mean, fam.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Aaron Barnett, representing We Are Race campaign. R.A.C.E. stands for Removing All Colour for Equality.
Okay. Well, yeah. This on air. I don't even really know if I should call it sincere and specific. Still, it's gonna be in a similar style to it, but
Yeah.
this one come about different. You get me? Usually, man interview people from the park, like speakers that man's been seeing in the park, get busy, and I just develop questions for them as man watch them. You get me? And film them and all of that. But this one air, like, it's different still. Like you got like you was briefly touching on your the race campaign. You get me? So explain to people what that's about.
Yeah, the race campaign it's a campaign. I like to look at it as a forward-thinking campaign to improve race relations. Improve is the main question to me.
Yeah.
I mean the main statement, the main word in the statement, improve. So, I mean, over the years, it has been improving, and I think that this campaign and what it represents is the next level of improvement, and that is addressing the terms in which we identify ourselves and other people, black and white. I personally think, and a lot of people think, that it's wrong to identify people as opposites, but yet you expect them to live in unity.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. That's like calling one person right and one person wrong and saying, yeah, but you live happy and have a good life, and then if you do clash, we're gonna create a big storm over it. Do you get what I mean?
So we feel like there's a lot of issues that we go through as humanity because of the way we identify ourselves as it is currently.
Definitely, 100%. I feel like it's, with the name comes a way of nature.
Yeah.
So it's like if you call someone a dog for 400 years, they'll eventually start acting like a dog. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll start barking, and it's literally that same thing. If you call someone a word that identifies with badness, like the term black, where if you look in the Oxford Dictionary, underneath the word black, you see death, mourning, heartbroken, and then if you look under the word white, you see pure, good, godly. Do you see what I'm saying? And then it will start to manifest in people's mind.
So give us some of the what's the word I'm looking for? Some of the consequences, or some of the real life things what you've noticed, what you would attribute to.
The real life things I've noticed is, if you take every racial stereotype, that's given to a black or white person.
Yeah. That
racial stereotype is opposite, just like the word. So every stereotype. So one's got good hair. Yeah. One's got bad hair. The women of one is moany and angry. The women of the other is easy and polite. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or even sexually, do you get what I'm saying? One is supposedly blessed. Do you get what I'm saying? When it comes to the men, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the other one is cursed. Do you get what I mean? So
hold on, but that one didn't work in the favor of the trend on the other words.
Yeah, it's both, isn't it? It goes both.
We say it's just straight opposite.
Just straight opposite. Because like, even with the whole campaign, it's not one over the other. I'm not favouring any, because I've grown up with people that identify as black, and I've grown up with people that identify as white. I've grown up with both, and I'll be silly to sit here and say, oh, a white person has never helped me. Only black people have helped me. I've grown up in London. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and the whole point is that I improve race relations. Do you get what I mean? For everyone, and even by improving it for one, the other will improve as well. If it's true, it's a true cause.
So how do you feel race relations stand as it is right now?
Right now, I think physically, as in what we can do physically as individuals, as people, it's good, but it could be better. Mentally, I think that's where it's more. I think that's where it's more affecting people mentally. Like, there's a lot of stigmas and a lot of mindsets that a lot of people have. For example, if someone talks with a certain lingo, they'd be quick to say, "Oh, why are you talking black?" Or if someone speaks correct English, "Why are you speaking white?" That doesn't make sense. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make sense. And it's like, and that's what I'm trying to break. I'm trying to break those type of mental barriers that are stopping people from being who they really are. Do you get what I mean? And I feel like in terms of people of African descent who have got the shorter end of the stick, they've been called many names. Do you get what I mean? And black is just one of them.
Yeah.
Like since slavery and the end of slavery, they went to Negroes, then they went to coloured. This is just by law. So then they went to coloured and now they're black. But obviously, as you know and I know, between that, there's loads of different creative names that society has come up for people of African descent. But it's really, we're Africans. And Africa is our continent that we originate from. Just like Asians are called Asian because of the continent that they originate from. The continent of Asia. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like we as people, we deserve that same amount of respect. And I think that once people of African descent stand up and say we want our identity back, and how we should, and you should address us, and we are going to address ourselves the right way, then others will have no choice but to. Others will not have no choice because, and as long as you, like other cultures know that black is a disrespectful word. I've been around.
Would you say that they know that in regards to labeling a people black?
Yeah, definitely. As in labeling the people black and the word itself black.
Yeah.
Like I say, it has many different meanings if you look in the dictionary. So it's like, for example, I've been around European people and they don't even want to call someone black. They're like, he's a guy. What should I call him?
Okay.
And they don't want to say it because.
But do you think that's because they think black is a bad word, or they feel like they might be looked at like they're racist for noticing in a world that's supposed to be colorblind, that's something blatant that you're black?
I think there's a bit of both. I think when they think of the word black, if they think negativity.
Okay.
And obviously, of course, that comes down to the whole meaning of the word and the way black people have been portrayed with that word. It's like a bad label. Do you get what I mean? A negative label. And it's like, so even with this campaign, one thing I did and one thing I started to question was, where did this label start from? How did people start getting identified by color terms? And that led me to a social scientist named Francois Bernier. And he was people say he was a racist scientist, and when you look at his work, you see why. He traveled the world. He went to Asia. He went to Africa. He went to America.
What time period is this?
This is 1684.
Okay.
Yeah, 1684. So this is during slavery.
Yeah.
He released a book called The New Division of the Earth. And in this book, he labeled each type of people from each different continent with a color. He said the people from Africa, they are black. And the people from Asia, they are yellow.
Yeah.
The people from America, the original Americans, they are red.
Were you saying what his works got published and everyone started running with those labels?
He created race.
Yeah. So what you saying before that no one ever called himself by colours?
People called themselves by colours, but they didn't see that as the be all and end all.
What do you mean?
For example, we might see a person and say, "Oh, you've got green eyes," but that wouldn't be a box that they're in. They're not in the green eyed box.
Okay, so they wouldn't be a green-eyed person.
They wouldn't be separated, they wouldn't be a green-eyed person, and they wouldn't be separated and labelled as a green-eyed person.
Yeah.
So it's like people would make, because we're humans and we're creative. So if we see it, if we see something, we might say, "Oh, he's as tall as a skyscraper." You get what I mean? Because he's tall. He resembles a skyscraper. So of course, when you see a person, you might say, "Oh, he's as black as coal," or you see another person, he's as white as snow. But it doesn't mean you identify that person, the be all and end all, as that specific feature, or metaphor that you're using to identify him. And that's what he did. He came up with a book called The New Division of the Earth, and in that book, he went on to label everyone with these terms, labeled the Europeans as white and the other cultures, as I previously mentioned, and he went on to describe what he thought of them as well. So, for example, he would say that the people from Africa are savages. Do you see what I'm saying? And that they, and just basically this disrespect.
Yeah.
This disrespect. You see what I'm saying? And just put disrespect on every other culture that isn't.
Give me some other descriptive things that
said,
about like specifically, not just that West Africa. Did he know any particular behavior and attribute that to us?
Well, one thing I can remember. I don't know his words. I don't know his words word for word.
Yeah.
I don't know his quotes word for word. But one thing I do remember that stood out to me is that though he was traveling the world and coming across these places for the first time, he did sleep with the women.
Yeah.
From these places.
Okay, so it didn't matter that they're savages.
Yeah. So he would disrespect the men totally, but yet he would sleep with the women from these places. And he also said, I remember another quote, he said, that there's nice women all over the world, but the nicest woman is the woman from Europe. So it's these type of racist thoughts that was put out there in this journal, and then later on, the countries of the world, the Europeans decide to run with it.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
Because it's divide and conquer. It says it in the title of the book is a new division of the world.
Yeah.
And
but what would be their interest in? Because if they wasn't already practicing or thinking like that, what would be their interest in adopting this new way of life? What my man's trying to bring?
Because you gotta stay on top. That's what it is. It's like even if you're on top today. Like if I got £1 million today, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna start a savings account.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because everyone knows $1 million ain't gonna last forever.
Yeah.
You need to invest in something. So that's how I saw it. It was an investment in an idea, and this could keep us on. Though we're on top now, this idea could keep us on top for another how many more generations? Do you see what I'm saying? That's exactly that's the type of mentality that it has on people. That's why we're here today talking about this, because literally because of that journal.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? And that's exactly kind of what gives me the confidence to even step up and want to do it, because if one man could write this journal that's affected so many people's lives long after he's gone, imagine what I could do. Imagine what you could do. Imagine what anyone watching this could do. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of power in one person, and that's what I'm trying to put out there with this campaign, is that it's about identity. Do you get what I mean? And
yeah.
Once people are identified respectfully, they're gonna respect themselves.
So
they're gonna respect others. Yeah.
So just a quick sum up thing then. So your ambition with this campaign is to have people of the world refer to each other not by colour anymore, but by
colour. No,
that's not just black people.
That's not just black. I believe that there's two colours right now that are standing strong. So Francis Bernier, he put out red for Americans, yellow for Asians, black for Africans, white for Europeans. Two of those are now offensive. It's offensive to call
yellow and red, innit?
Yeah, yellow and red. They're two offensive terms. Now people still use those terms, but they don't use them in politics. They don't use them in mainstream media. People wouldn't be identified as that. They might use it amongst their friends, like I've spoken to some Asian people, and they'll call each other yellow amongst their friends.
Yeah.
But it would never be something you'd see on TV. It would never be something you'd see in the newspaper. It would never be it would never be a box that you tick on your job application.
Yeah.
And now there's two left, and that's black and white. And those two are opposites. And the term white is standing on the term black. So I know if you change black and take black out of the equation, the term white would fall.
Yeah.
It will fall because it will be standing on nothing. It's like if someone's running a race and there's two people in this race and one person comes first every time, you can respectfully give them the gold medal because they beat someone. But if that person that keeps coming second place leaves that race, that person isn't going to get the medal because you're going to be able to see how unbalanced it is. You're running against no one. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's literally that type of breakdown. That's what I see happening.
So how would you have people identify themselves then? if not by color?
People from the continent of Africa, I'd like to see us identified as Africans. If we're gonna be put into a broad box.
Do you think that we should be put into a broad box?
I think that throughout the way society works, I think that a broad box can work, but it has to be respectful. So even in that broad box, there's other categories. So for example, African American, African Caribbean, African Latino. So all of these things, I think they're respectful. But if you was gonna label someone, for example, by a broader perspective, then I would say African is the best thing. Because obviously at the end of the day, everyone knows there's only one human race. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? But we're only gonna get back to one human race by undoing these things. So I don't see it ending at African. I see it as an evolution.
You're saying a step in the right direction.
That's all. That's literally all it is. It's just one step in the right direction.
So we say ultimately at the end of the line, you just want to see one big melting pot where everyone's just beige.
The thing is, it won't ever be like that. And if it is, I won't ever live to see it, because it's gonna take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years for it to get like that. So I won't even ever see that. And I'm not saying that I want that, because everyone brings something unique to the table. Yeah,
because ain't gonna front store. I like that there's different cultures.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't think I would like it if everybody was just the same thing. You get me?
Exactly, because everyone is unique in their own right. You know what I mean? Like even African Caribbean is different to an African American. You get what I mean? So just imagine an Asian person to an African person, or an Asian person to a European person. Everyone's unique, and that's what I want to be exposed and respected with this campaign. You get what I'm saying?
I also, again, just to touch on, come and touch briefly still, but we went off it. What's the impact of, like in general society now? What do you notice as like negative as a result of us identifying by these
colour terms?
Yeah.
I know it's like I've lived. This is straight off what I've lived and experienced. Yeah. So I've noticed, even though you could eat the same as someone, you dress the same as someone, you speak the same language as someone, simply because skin color is magnified and put out there to the world the way it is, you can have a difference with someone. That's absurd. Do you get what I'm saying? Because growing up in London, like I said, I've got neighbours, do you get what I mean, that are from all over the world. Yeah. And it's like, okay, cool. Or you've got colleagues that are from all over the world. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, for us to continuously go through these things, and the media and the government or whoever to continuously perpetuate this small difference and make it out like it's all the importance in the world. Do you get what I mean? I think it's wrong, man. I think it's holding us back. I think it's holding a lot of people back. So that could even be like, I'll be talking to a guy and I say, oh, let's go here. And he'd be like, oh, I don't want to go there. There's too many white people. Or that's just for white people. So now this whole thing of black and white is affecting his confidence to go to a place. Like, he'll like the place. The place is a nice, plush, done-up place. But he doesn't feel like he belongs. Do you see what I'm saying?
So do you feel like that hypothetical place that man go to, do you feel like man would be treated any different?
I think that the way things are now, he may be treated different. The way things are now, he may be treated different.
What's been your experience if you've gone to any like majority non-black places?
I've experienced like uncomfortable settings. I can tell. You can tell when someone is uncomfortable. But also another thing which is more important is that you know who you are. So even when I go to a place and I see that someone's uncomfortable with me being there, I'm able to tell myself in my head, yo, he's got the problem. Okay. You see what I'm saying? I don't let it make me feel down. Yeah. Because I know within myself, like, I've got courage and pride within myself. So no matter if someone's looking at me any type of way, they ain't gonna stop me from coming there. Yeah. Because they can't affect me because of how I see myself.
Have you ever confronted someone about it, and not in a bad way or nothing, but just let them know that you're aware, that you notice their uncomfortableness. Try to coach them through or something.
No, it's always been a stranger. It's always been a stranger that is maybe on the other side of the room or in passing. Do you know what I mean? Someone that I don't really know. But something interesting that did happen to me is I was at work and a colleague of mine, he's Asian, right?
Yeah.
A colleague of mine, and he's telling a joke, and he's like, "That's what I'm talking about, nigga." That's what he says. That's what he says, right?
Yeah.
And before he could even finish that sentence, right, or even start the next sentence, he goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it like that." And because of the way I identify with myself, I said to him, "You don't need to apologize to me, because I'm not a nigga." So when you say nigga, that word, I don't even associate with that word. You see what I'm saying? I know that the world associates me with that word, but how I see myself when I look in the mirror, I don't associate myself with that word. So you don't need to apologize to me as an individual. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's something that definitely stuck out to me, that I remembered, where it wasn't the typical sense of the checking someone about it. It's kind of like a different way of checking someone.
Okay. No, I like that still. So from that, I would have got that. People that's not black or whatever man identifies manself, they think that, or this particular individual, I know we ain't the only one still, that it's just for them to say a word and it would have you or me, anyone who's our complexion, feeling like wounded or something.
Inferior.
Yeah.
And I think that's all down to.
But I ain't gonna front though. I'll feel that there is enough other people though that I don't know if man's like could do like take a survey or nothing still. But I feel like there'll be a large percent of people that would be offended.
Yeah, of course. Definitely, that's the society we live in. Society tells you get offended. Like that. Do you see what I'm saying? Society encourages you to get offended. Society encourages you to use that word and then get offended when anyone else uses that word. That's what's so crazy.
So don't. So how do you see that, like in terms of the psychology behind that?
I think that it's really messed up, and it shows you how bad the state of identity is. Is that there's people out there, a lot of people that are willing to use a word willingly in front of anyone, not even just behind closed doors, use it in front of anyone, on the TV, on the radio, in movies, and then get upset when someone else uses that word, even though you just used that word in front of them and made it possible for them to even buy that word. When someone goes to the shop and buys something, it's theirs now. You can't tell them not to use it. That they bought it, you sold it. You sold out. You see what I'm saying? That and the thing is, it's not that individuals, though we should take responsibility for our own actions, we have to look at the reasons why that individual is using that word.
Let me know, because it sounds like it's a victim thing that you're saying.
Yeah, it's both ways. You gotta be able to think from both sides of the coin. Because even the victim, why is the victim using that word? The victim's using that word because they were called that word and treated in a certain way for hundreds of years. It's not just like they just woke up one day and said, "Oh, I'm a nigger." No, their grandma was treated like a half human, because that's what it really means. Their grandma was treated like a half human. Their great grandma was treated like a half human. Their great grandma, their great, and it goes on and on and on. And getting treated like a half human, just look in the history books. But if you're, like I said, innit, if someone calls you a dog for a certain amount of time, you're gonna wake up and start barking. Like, no matter how much you try to resist it. If they continuously put you on a leash, take you out for walks, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna start acting like a dog. And that's what I think has happened with that whole term, with the whole word, even nigger. That's happened hundreds of years.
But what I don't understand is that, just like how the people who was calling my nigga got they got the option or the choice or the will or whatever it is to decide to do something that they want to do. How come we can't, like you said that you don't want to affect you in it, but I don't know, like based upon my encounters with people, I will count you among the rare.
Yeah.
You don't get offended, you get me? Like, you don't give the power to the word like that, you get me? But Yeah, what would you say is that stopping man from taking the, I was gonna say responsibility or having the ability to, regardless of what you're trying to tell me I'm gonna define myself in it.
I think for me personally, when I had that sense of self, for me was personally when my mom told me that I was an African and she put a book in my hand. That's when my whole mentality.
Sorry to stop you, Carl. What, your Caribbean heritage?
Yeah, I'm African Caribbean.
Yeah.
But when my mom told me that I'm an African.
When you say African Caribbean, what do you mean? Like both your parents was born in
the Caribbean.
Okay.
Both my parents was born in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Heritage actually. No, one of my parents was born in the Caribbean and one of my parents was born here, first generation here.
But their parents come from Caribbean.
Their parents come from the Caribbean.
Okay.
So it's direct to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But my mom told me, when my mom told me from like my late teens / early 20s that you're African, and she put a book in my hand, and I opened that book and I saw the history, that just changed my whole outlook. I didn't see myself as black. You see what I'm saying? What society will paint you out to be. I didn't see myself as these stereotypes or.
So why not before seeing yourself as black, before seeing yourself as African, why not African Caribbean? How come you never had that same sense of?
Because I'm the same sense before when of course I've known.
Like you're not black. Your man ain't black. Man's African Caribbean. Then you know what I'm saying? Like why because that one there?
Like just looking back at history, not a long time, like just the other day, really.
Yeah.
The Africans being in the Caribbean, that's man-made.
Yeah.
And that's not made by a man that had your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That was made by a man that forced you to be there.
Okay.
And once that man put you there, or he forced you to work for him. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a history. It's not deep enough.
Okay.
That's basically it. It doesn't go deep enough. When you look, for example, my parents are from the islands of Caribbean, from Jamaica and Barbados.
Okay.
All right. Now the native tongue there that everyone speaks is English. That's not deep enough for me. That's not enough to give me strength, because that same English that they speak in the Caribbean is the same English language that I've seen chat enough bad word after me. You see what I'm saying? After my people in history.
Yeah.
So then, but when I look at my roots in Africa, that language hasn't said anything bad about me. That language has never called me a nigger. That language, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So that's the advantage of I guess knowing your history.
Yeah. So being called African now, tell me what that done for man.
For me personally, it gave me a sense of pride, not just for myself but for others. So for others that look like me.
What you saying, was it instant though?
It was over time. It was over time, like just throughout life. So throughout life, as you go through new experiences.
No, I'm saying as your mum introduced, like give you the book and told you you're African. Yeah, talk me through that again. Like what was happening in your mind, in your mindset?
So as I'm reading the book and looking at it, so I was young when I first got it. It was like late teens, so I wasn't really down for reading. You know, when you're young and you're just really immature, you can't be bothered to read. But those pictures.
Yeah.
So as I'm looking at the pictures, they're enticing me. So then I started to read because of the pictures, and it just started showing me how much Africans contributed to the civilization, to where we are today. And then it takes you through the influence it had on European culture. You feel like you play more of a part in the world that you're in. You're not just living here. It feels like you helped create this. You see what I'm saying? And that gives you a sense of pride that you can't imagine. Like it will make you walk into a job interview feeling different. Do you get what I'm saying? It will make you meet someone and shake someone's hand in a different type of way and have a different look at a person in their eyes and just feel a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. I feel like identity is very important, and I feel that's one of the major things that people of African descent lost throughout the years of the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah. So before that, going on the front still, when I was a youth, man, going to school and all of that, man never used to think of Africa, but anytime man did, it would be what man see on the adverts, innit?
Yeah.
So it was always negative. And
Always.
even when like man started mixing around Africans from the continent in school and that, man used to be friends and all of them and that, but man used to look at them like they're lesser than man. Man used to have like I don't know, like it used to be like an insult. I used to insult man, like, you're African, rare.
Of course.
Obviously, man, look at myself and think like, yo, man, like, I'm fucked up for that, innit? Like I was wrong, you get me? And being African is a good, like man's African myself, innit? I'm looking at that as a fault on my behalf, you get me?
Yeah.
But man used to have that type of impression of Africans, you get me? So, what was your because I don't know if my mum would have told me that I'm African, I don't know. I don't know if I might have just laughed that off or something, you get me? What was your mindset of when you think about Africa before that?
Before that, it was pretty similar to yours. Like it was whatever was shown to me.
Yeah.
It was whatever that was shown to me from the European country that I'm in. It was never shown to me from my people. It was never shown to me from Africans. Whatever I thought of Africa was what I saw on television. Do you get what I mean? On the BBC, on the Oxfam advert.
Yeah.
That Red Nose
Cross
Day.
Red Nose Day.
You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? On
Comic relief. Yeah.
Exactly. So these are the views of Africa that I saw. But like I said, it's steady progression, because back then you didn't have Google back then, like how we have Google now. Do you get what I'm saying? You didn't have the internet. You couldn't access information. So the information that I was getting and that we was both getting, it was controlled. It was being fed to us. But now we can feed ourselves with knowledge. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where everything changed. Because I saw that in school.
And you know, as a result of that as well, like viewing Africa through like that warped lens, you get me? The like you said, the identity, that's evident in that still, because the relationships that man had now, it weren't as much as man's supposed to be family. It weren't like that, you get me? It was more like a them versus us thing, you get me?
Yeah.
So it was kind of foul, you get me? Like until man like got really close with some of my African friends and started going into the yards and all of that and getting to know their family and they're getting to know my family and all of that, where man just looked at man as brothers, you get me, and family.
Exactly.
But before all of that, like man was kind of adversarial, you get me?
Yeah.
So
and that's what I'm saying. Unless you're close to someone directly from the continent, all you would know of the continent is what you're shown.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So it's big, man. It's a lot. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a lot to take in, man. And I just think now, like one thing that I was always taught from a young age is, if you know better, do better.
Yeah.
I feel like the way the information is available to us now, we all know better. So it's time to stand up, be courageous, be brave. You get me? Have the time of day. Do you get what I mean? To gain our identity. Do you get what I mean? And I feel like it will reflect and be better for everyone overall, not just people of African descent. It will be better for European people as well.
Why will it be?
I think it will be better for European people to be seen as European people than to be seen as white people, because then people will be able to relate to them.
But don't you feel like the way things are set up now with the black meaning bad and white meaning good, that Europeans are in a position of advantage, like psychologically?
No, they are definitely in a position of advantage, 100%. But it doesn't mean that they're not able to show empathy. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people of European descent, a lot of white people have shown empathy for other cultures. So, and the way that I'm breaking it down to you is very simple and easy to understand. They didn't create the term white. They didn't individually create that. It was, like I said, it was other people that created the whole concept of race. You see what I mean? So once it's explained to them in a certain way, they can make their decision. I feel like I feel like putting this information out there almost raises the bar of racism. And it says, okay, now this is the information we have. If you go along with this, you're agreeing to it. Before, it's okay because you didn't know.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But now we're showing it to you. So it's like, do you want to go with this way? The one that I'm showing you started here and has contributed to this? Or do you want to go with this way, the step in the right direction? You see what I'm saying? So
and you say the outcome will be better off for everybody.
Everybody, like, think about it like this. I'll put it like this. If someone says, I'm white, I can't relate to that. You can't relate to that. There's a lot of people that can't relate to that. But if someone says, I'm European, after their continent, because as you know, Britain is in Europe, right? In the continent of Europe. I can relate to that. I wear European clothes. I speak a European language. I grew up in Europe my whole life. You see what I'm saying? And that's I've been to loads of European countries. So even just that simple statement, I'm able to relate to someone more. So identifying with continents, our continents of origin, we're able to not just identify with the person more, but we're also identifying with cultures, languages, things that we actually love, you know what I mean, and care about.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? On a deeper level than just skin color. And it's not even a correct labeling of skin color, because no one's skin is black and no one's skin is white anyway.
How did you start the campaign?
The campaign, R.A.C.E, I started it, like I had an idea. I remember when I was younger. This is crazy. So around the time my mum introduced me to Africa, I noticed straight away that something ain't right with black and white, because I literally left that old mindset so I could see, hold on a minute, then what's black? You see what I'm saying? So I wrote down in a little diary, I just wrote down black and white isn't right. That's all I wrote, one line in a little diary. And then that was back in like early, like what was that? Like early 2000s, like 2010 or something like that. Yeah, wrote that down, and I just came across the diary again and I was like, that's true. Like obviously, ever since that, I haven't been using the terms in my own life. I've been addressing people correctly. So if I know you're from the Caribbean, I'm gonna address you as that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I know you're from Britain, or I know you're from Scotland, I'm gonna address you as that. I'm not just gonna broaden you like ignorantly. Do you get what I'm saying? So I wasn't using it, and I thought, let me get back to it. And I hadn't shared the idea with anyone that I didn't know directly. So I thought, I saw an interview with Malcolm X's daughter, R.A.C.E, and I thought, let me reach out to her, because she said one statement in her interview that I agreed with, which was basically about taking responsibility for your actions. And I thought, let me just reach out to her and see what she thinks of the campaign. So I messaged her. She got back to me within the hour, and said that it was a really great initiative. And from there, I just thought, you know what? Like, if she can see what I'm saying, and knowing her background and knowing who her father was, and then a lot of other people can as well. Do you see what I'm saying? And then yeah, just from there, I just continue to type it out into words and research, and come across and just learn. And then I thought to myself, right now I've learned more, I'm going to continue to share it. So I started reaching out to people that was in the Black Panther Party, people that was in the civil rights movement, people that work on human rights over here. Anyone that I knew I could learn from, I sent it out to them. Even MPs in this country, I sent it out to about 55 MPs in this country.
So when you say you sent it out, what you got, like a written mission statement or something?
Yeah, so I writ out like when I first started, I writ out like a statement, like a two-page statement, and sent it out to loads of people, just to, because it's all about learning. You know what I mean? It's like each one teach one kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Sent it out, and then from there it just started growing. More people started contacting me back. Some people didn't. Some people did, and they were interested, and they expressed that they had also felt the same way.
Yeah.
Some people had even done work on it already, and
What do you mean before you even?
Yeah, before I even done it. There's loads of people that's pointed it out in their work. Loads of people, but I just hadn't seen anyone come together and make a change and actually change it once and for all. So I found loads of books, I found loads of like statements online and stuff like that addressing it, but I had never seen a movement that's specifically there to change it. Yeah, so yeah, man, just started linking up with people. Even like yourself, messaged you. You know what I'm saying? Had to. Like, it's like anyone that I see that's got a certain state of mind, I know they can relate. You see what I mean? So when I saw what you was doing in the park, I knew straight away I got to contact you. When I saw what Jedi was doing, Jedi and R.A.C.E was doing, got to contact them. You see what I'm saying? And because it's like, it's going to take a lot of us. It's going to take a team. Do you get what I mean? It's nothing that I can do on my own. And where we are right now in society and the freedom that we have, we should be putting it to good use, this freedom. Do you get what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that didn't have this freedom. Do you get what I mean? All they had to do was stay alive so the next generation could be born. So I think it's the least that we could do. Do you get what I mean?
So who have you got involved in the campaign so far?
So far, I've reached out to an educator named Dr. Kwesi who wrote a really good essay on it. I've reached out to musicians like.
Sorry. See the Dr. Kwesi. It's not Asher Kwesi. Where's he from? America?
No, it's from here.
Okay, no.
Yeah, from the UK. Yeah. Reached out to him. He helped me out. Peter Aspinall, who's the social scientist behind the UK census, he helped me out.
Social science,
yeah, for the country. So
what's that involved?
He works directly for the government.
Yeah.
So you know when they send that census out to everyone's house, they got to tick the boxes and send it back. Yeah, he runs the ethnic and race portion of that census. So yeah, I reached out to him. He helped me out. A lot of people have been helpful. And I totally understand that it's not just going to be the people in the boardroom and the classroom.
Yeah.
That this is going to take. It's going to take the camera guys. Do you get what I'm saying? It's going to take the DJs and the rappers. So like even Jar Jar, reached out to him. Me and him sat down for a couple hours.
From PDC.
Yeah. Jar Jar from PDC, reached out to him. Swiss from So Solid, reached out to him. And then yeah, man, just use the technology that we have. Reached out to loads of people through social media, like straight DMs. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, same goes down in the DM.
Straight, you get what I'm saying? Trust me,
like
literally so much people, man. It's unreal. And the response has been really good, man.
The
response has been really good.
So going back to the social scientist, brother. That sounds intriguing to me still. Like I don't know. How would you explain what that actually means, social scientist?
So what he does is, so he works directly for the UK census. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a government organisation.
Yeah.
And what they do is they send this questionnaire to everyone's house. They get back the data and they use it to kind of basically what anyone would use data for. You monitor a situation. Do you get what I mean? So you know.
Did they try and look for patterns and trends within certain areas and things like that?
Patterns and trends within people, within certain areas, within certain
demographics,
certain genders.
Yeah.
Like ethnicities, everything. So, and he runs that.
So what with that information there? What do they do? Plan for the future according to.
Well, that would be the smart thing to do. So I think that's what they do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That would be the smart thing. Like I know if I was sending out any type of. Or I was getting any type
what's like the official reason for them doing that? The census. Yeah, I know the census is just so they know how many people's in the country and living where and all of that stuff.
I think it's literally so they can have better control over their land. You know what I mean? The same reason that even if you've got a YouTube channel, the same reason you check your statistics in there. The same reason, so you know how well you're doing, or maybe how bad you're doing, and you know what you need to change. Do you get what I mean? Literally, so it's literally just like that's what statistics and data is for, and that's what they do. But one thing I saw, because he's been really helpful. And he sent me over some work, and one of the questions on one of the censuses, right? The last one was. How does your race / ethnicity play importance in your life and who you are as a person, as an individual?
That was on the census?
That was on the census. It wasn't worded that same way, but that's what it meant, right? The question. And remember I told you about the opposite.
Yeah.
People that identified as black, so there was 3 black.
Wait, is this information available to the general public?
Some of it is. Some of it is.
What you're about to tell me now, was that classified?
Nah, it's not classified, man. If you search the underground web, I'm joking. No. It's available, man. It's available. Like you just go online.
Like, see some old ones.
Yeah, old. It's from the last one. I think they do it every 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, every 10 years they do it. They do the census. So, but it shows, and then so this box now, how important does your race play to who you are, right? There was 3 black boxes: black African Caribbean British, black African British, and black other. Right? All 3 of those boxes had ticked very important, like the highest, rated the highest on very important.
What do you mean compared to other races?
Yeah, compared to Asian, South Asian, East Asian, and compared to like European,
white European.
And white European, exactly. And the white European results was the opposite.
There was no importance.
No importance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like there was obviously some people had ticked it as important to them, but the majority compared, it was the opposite again. It was that literally, but in data this time. So in data form, I could see that one person, their race means everything to them because, of course, it's played a huge part in their life. Do you get what I mean? Like it's been a disadvantage. Do you get what I mean? It's always pointed out to them. Like the media points it out to you. They with a lot of films that, for example, that come out of America with an African American person as the lead role, they would put black before. So it might be 50 Shades of Black. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it might be that film with Martin Lawrence, The Black Knight. Or it might be the new Netflix series that they just released, superhero series, Black Lightning. So it's perpetuated to us that our race is everything. You see what I mean? Whereas if it was just a person of European descent, or some people want to say a white person, then it would just be flash.
But ain't that because in the West we are a minority? Because is the same trend happening in Africa, or like in Jamaica or something like that, where it's a majority of black people? Do we label everything black this and black that?
No, I think a lot of it is to do because we're here.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is to do because of the land it's coming out of, because just like that, black history only exists here and in America. Black history don't exist nowhere else. You see what? It's just history.
Okay.
And I think that's why for people that are in these lands, in the US and in the UK, it's important that we stand up and claim our identity in the right way. You see what I mean? So it all stems down to identity. Do you get what I mean? Our identity shouldn't, even if whether we're in Africa, in Jamaica, in Asia, or in the UK, we shouldn't be addressed that way. You see what I mean? And it shouldn't be made out that our race is the be-all and end-all to who we are as people, especially when it's not even represented the right way. You see what I'm saying? So
what do you feel like it's going to take for us to start identifying ourselves in a way where you would feel comfortable or happy?
Well, I see it like this. Once the campaign is out there and it puts this information, the same information I've shared with you today, and this information reaches more and more people, I see a lot of people's mentality changing, because a lot of people have never even thought twice about it, just like I had never thought twice about it. I thought that black was black and white was white. You're just born into a world where people are labelled like that, do you know what I mean? And you never think to question it. But this campaign is questioning that, and I think once a lot of people start getting the answers to a lot of these questions, they're going to start seeing that there is an injustice that's being done here, do you know what I mean? Because especially for people that are identified as black, you're being labelled as a second-class citizen. Do you see what I'm saying? To someone else. And that's an injustice. And if you look at society, and you look at what's going on, are you being treated like a first-class citizen? It seems like you're being treated like you know what I'm saying? If police are getting away with murders when they murder someone that looks like you. That's some second-class citizen stuff. Do you get what I mean? If your culture's being wrong, like when people, for example, when mainstream media, when you represent your culture and they call it wrong or derogatory, but then another person from another culture went and does the exact same thing, that kind of seems like second-class treatment. Do you get what I mean? And double standards. So it's literally addressing that, and I believe that once we claim our identity and finally start to repair it, because it was damaged. Do you get what I mean? That's how we ended up here. It's a damaged identity. No one will be able to pull the wool over our eyes. I don't think.
So what do you feel like is stopping, or not even stopping, or slowing this down from happening? Or what obstacles have you come across, if any?
Obstacles I've come across is like, I haven't come across many. So far it's been really positive. But an obstacle I did come over recently was kind of like corporations. When corporations hear that you're bringing another aspect of the argument to the table, one that might actually change society.
When you say the argument, the race argument.
Yeah. The argument about race and equality. Yeah. Corporations, they do tend. I've seen corporations shy away from that, especially when you're actually bringing resolutions. Yeah. Because a lot of shows will talk about, for example, I just saw one on Question Time. No, it wasn't. Was it? Yeah. Was it Question Time?
The Big Question.
Yeah, the Big Question. Yeah. And it was called "Is Britain Still Racist?" And a lot of people were speaking, but no one was coming with a resolution, one that we haven't heard, an idea, a plan. No one was coming with that. And that's what they like. They like to just they like society to go around in these circles, and maybe every 5 to 10 years they'll bring out the same.
Why do you feel they like that?
Because it keeps everyone in the loop. It keeps everyone.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what's the benefit of that? Who's benefiting from that?
The person who created the loop, innit? Like the government. Yeah. I don't know their exact name, because they're smarter than that. They're smarter to put their name out there. Do you get what I mean? So it's, of course.
I'm saying you feel like it's deliberate.
100% is deliberate. 100%. Because you just have to think about it yourself. Like if you ran a country, or if you ran a world, or someone gave you that responsibility of running a country, you're going to make sure you have as much control over that country as possible. You don't want nothing to go. Just as you as an individual, and me as an individual. That's just something that, even when you're just running your channel, you want everything to be exactly what you say, and you don't want no hiccups. So imagine, that's running a channel. Imagine if you was running a country. You see what I mean? So of course, 100% is done on purpose. As it should be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I know if I was running anything, I'd be running it like strict as well, trying to make sure I'm in control.
Yeah. So go on then. Let's say the obstacles that you've been coming across to.
Yeah. So I think that's the main one. Corporations, when they hear a resolution to some of the racial problems that's going on, they tend to shun away from it.
Is it just shun away from it, or is it shut it down?
Some will shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's been your experience? Like when you say corporation, what have you brought it to someone, like a network or something?
Yeah. Like I've spoken to a couple of.
You don't want to mention. You don't want to name the names.
I'll name names. I've spoken to the BBC. I've spoken to a section within the BBC before.
Yeah.
And it's the reporter I was speaking to. She seemed enlightened by what I was saying, but she took it to her seniors, and they shut it down. You see what I'm saying? So
how did the encounter first come about?
The encounter first came about because I reached out. Like I told you, I've been reaching out to everyone.
Yeah.
So I did reach out to a producer of the BBC as well, from the BBC as well, and she was kind enough to pass my information on to another producer, who then reached out to me, and then it went from there. They contacted me, and then and then they said, would I like to come in and speak about a topic which was to do with race, and addressing like the term people of color, and yeah, I just literally brought a new insight to the table. Because before you go on any show, for example, they have to speak to you first.
Yeah.
So while they're speaking to me, I'm telling them, this is the issue. Like, okay, yeah, I could talk about how bad of a term people of color is all day, but I'm not gonna come and waste your time. You've been hearing that, so I've brought a solution. Do you get what I mean? And I've addressed that. If you're labeling people of color, you can't just attack that one term. You need to address the fact that people are even identified as colors. Do you see what I'm saying? Before you even want to talk about the term people of color, do you get what I mean? Of course, like, what's the difference between the term colored and people of color? Like, it's the same thing. Do you get what I mean? So from when you banned the word colored down in, what was that? That was in the 60s, 70s. They banned the 60s. They banned the word colored. Yeah.
But people of colour still are.
And
right?
then people of colour still being used today. It's the same word. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean about.
I didn't even think about that before.
And
still.
that's what I mean about going around in circles. They just got us running around in circles, and no one is bringing a new solution to the table. So that's of course what I'm here, and loads of other people that represent the campaign and have agreed that it's important are here to do. You get what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, so what happened in the end?
In the end, it just got dropped, and you just move on, man. In the end, it got dropped, and you move on, man.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. You keep going.
So what did the BBC do? Just run the same thing what that was going to run before a man jumped on it?
They ended up talking about male on the show. They replaced that topic with male sexual harassment in the male modelling industry. That's what they replaced it with.
That's he said totally different. Some totally different.
It's like, we've got to take a next route. So that's what they replaced it with. But you know what, yeah? When things like that come up, and I advise anyone when any adversity comes up, there's always someone in history that's had it worse.
Yeah.
There's even someone at the same time, somewhere else in the world that's had it worse. So when I'm able to look at what Martin Luther King went through, for example, about 60 years ago, it's nothing compared to the adversity that I faced. Do you know what I mean? Nothing. It's nothing. Like do you know what I mean? Like when you can go on YouTube now and look at the videos.
You said it the wrong way around. You meant the adversity what we're facing is nothing compared to what Martin Luther King faced. That's what you mean. No, you said what Martin Luther King faced is nothing compared to what you're facing.
Man. Disrespect.
I see that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, basically. Yeah. So when you go and you watch the videos of people getting hosed down, of people getting chased by dogs, and
they was in their suits as well. Man say it's the way you dress.
Yeah.
It's the way you talk. That's why you're getting stopped in surgery. Yeah, exactly. Martin Luther King and them was in their suits, fam, in their church clothes.
That's what I'm saying.
Singing church songs, you get me?
And getting treated worse. You get what I mean? So it's literally nothing. It's nothing to do with that, man. I think what it's all to do with is this, the brain, man. That's the most powerful tool.
It's in self-determination.
Yeah, man. Once you got your brain locked down, your mentality, because that's what I think it is right now in this day and age. I think we're physically free.
Yeah.
But mentally, I still think that people are like in chain in some ways. So
don't you feel like even going to established corporations that seems like they've got a history of not really caring about man or benefiting from the state that man's in? Don't you feel like going to them or expecting them to do something that will be of benefit to us is like a mental disease ourselves? Yeah,
or to benefit anyone like in society, really. Yeah. Like I guess that's why I'm not surprised. Like I'm not surprised that it happened, because of course I know that they're a big corporation, and big corporations have been doing that. You know what I mean? But
because it's like I don't know.
I think that's why you go to everyone. I think that's why you go to the BBC and you go to COE. You get what I'm saying? That's exactly why. Like I truthfully think if you throw 1,000 seeds in the soil, you have more of a chance of getting a good harvest. You know what I mean? And that's literally the approach I've taken with the campaign. I can see that. Obviously, I see how hard it's going to be. I know. I can only imagine. It's probably going to be harder than I can imagine. To get what I'm saying, but so I know I have to work extra hard. So I know it's gonna take extra help and extra strength and extra arms and extra corporations and extra endorsements and so on. It's gonna take more. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know I've seen better than this be achieved. For me to even be sitting here today, if it wasn't for my ancestors, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't. If they couldn't achieve what they did, I wouldn't be here. So the fact that I'm here, I know that this is doable. You get what I mean?
Cause for real, man, I feel like us. I was about to say it as black people still, but us as a people.
But this is what it is.
Yeah.
Once you know this knowledge, it starts slowly changing the way you even address people.
Yeah.
And this is what
So
I'm saying. Like,
you've had a result already. That's talking to my.
Trust me,
and all the people that's gonna watch it, it might have an impact on them still.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's like it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science.
But
and
yeah,
I want everyone to know out there as well. Like, I'm just a normal person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just a normal person, just like anyone else. I had an interest, and I used the technology in my pocket. I used my phone. I used my laptop. Do you get what I'm saying? To teach myself and contact people like yourself, like many others, and make a change gradually. So, I mean, Martin Luther King was just a preacher. You see what I'm saying? He didn't have a history of being an activist. He was just a preacher.
you saying anyone can do it?
I'm saying anyone can do it, man. Anyone, exactly.
I feel I need to stress that message still because
Anyone.
I feel like a lot of the time we take on like a victim mentality. Obviously, the truth is the truth, innit? What people are doing to us or have been doing to us is the truth, regardless of if we talk about it or not. You get me? So, yeah, man can talk about it still, but I feel like sometimes man release power from themselves or count themselves out when they ain't out, like as if man ain't got the ability to conquer man's oppressors. You get me?
Exactly.
You get me? Or man ain't got the ability to be self-determined regardless of what odds are stacked against us. You get me? I feel like that needs to be stressed though. Like man need to have the mentality where man can control man's own destiny or make man's own destiny regardless of what odds are against us. Man need to spend more time focusing on how we're gonna do what we want to see happen, how we're gonna do it, rather than who's stopping us from doing what we want to do. You get me?
Yeah.
Obviously, man should definitely be aware of what forces are reigned against us. But like not mine. Like Marcus Garvey said, still, it's like if man ain't got the if man ain't got the will or the ability or whatever it is it takes to do what other races have done for themselves, man might as well just lay down and die, fam.
Exactly.
You get me? So
Exactly.
I feel man need to stress that more than anything still.
Trust me, man. Like, literally, we have to, like, it's each one teach one, innit? It's that simple. It's like, if you see a next man can stand up and defend himself,
Yeah.
then let that teach you something. Do you see what I'm saying? If you see there's a next culture in the world that are identifying themselves by the continent that they're from, don't just stand there and compare yourself and say, oh, how comes this man can do that and the Asian man can do that, but we can't gel together? Because I've heard that enough times.
Yeah.
I've heard that enough times. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No. Are you learning from them?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so you like it's just about learning, man. It's just about being able to learn and take the knowledge and make something out of it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And even learn from your oppressors. Do you get what I'm saying? Learn the oppressors' ways.
Most
Do
definitely.
you get what I mean? Because then once you learn those ways, you can learn how to overcome them, how to dodge them. Do you see what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I think people are stronger than they think. You get what I mean? They're stronger than they think, than they really think, man. So
Yeah. Alright. We touched on a few still at the beginning, but what would you say the overall advantages or some of the advantages of realizing this campaign is?
from reclaiming and addressing people by their correct identities, I believe that it's gonna be self-empowering. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna definitely be self-empowering, and then I think there's going to be a lot of pride and respect for oneself and others that comes with that. And that's something that I've seen. Me simply not calling someone black or not calling someone white, which is something I've been doing for a couple of years, it's made me have more respect for someone, because I got to be thinking to myself, okay, I can't just call him white. Where is he actually from? You see what I'm saying? That's respect. You see what I'm saying?
It's a deeper connection.
Yeah, like, and obviously it's not something that you're gonna tell the person. You don't tell them, oh, I have to think twice before I called you something. Do you get what I mean? Or I labelled you. You just do it. Do you get what I mean? It's just knowing better and you do better, and that's what I truthfully believe the campaign will bring to society. It will help society to know better, and then it will help society to do better.
So what's next after that though, man? What's next after that? What's the next move?
The next move is literally just continue to get the word out there, continue to bring the message in different ways, using different forms of creativity. So like I said, I've reached out to a lot of different people from different walks of life. So literally bringing out different things on different platforms in different ways, but all with the same goal. You see what I'm saying? So it might come in the form of a university lecture. I've been talking to an organisation now and to other lecturers about doing university tours.
Yeah.
It might come in the form of a song or an EP, because I've been talking to musicians.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It might come in the form of a new series on
COE.
Yeah.
Come on, fam. Yeah.
I mean, you never know, innit? Just stay tuned. But for anyone watching, definitely we got 2 petitions out at the moment which address this. One of them directly addressing the word black, and the other one addressing the terms black and white, used in a political sense.
When you say petition, that's something where you hand it into the government?
Yeah.
For them to make something into law, to write something into law or something?
Yeah. So the petition, how it works is that if a petition gets, this is with a parliamentary petition, if it gets 10,000 signatures, then you get...
they have to talk about it in the Houses of Commons?
That's when they send you a letter for 10,000.
Okay.
And so like a reply. And then for 100,000, they talk about it in the House of Parliament. But like I said, man, we got to do every avenue. So literally, those petitions are literally one of many avenues. So definitely, man, you'll find those in the link in the description below.
Say now, man, I'll put them in still.
Yeah,
but me, like I said, fam, like I was trying to stress earlier, I feel like ultimately it's about what we do for ourselves, you get me?
That's it.
Even the petition thing, same with the Libya thing as well, man. Man was sending off petitions and all of that. Like, I feel like you're putting power again, like you're opting in to this system that you claim you don't like, to take responsibility for over your life, you get me? And I don't know, history has taught, man, they ain't always got man's best interests at heart, fam.
Exactly.
You get me? So I don't...
it's true. That's why you have to use it to your advantage. Like for me, I believe the petitions have played a good intro to what I'm doing. It's gotten people's attention.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's one thing I think with a petition. I don't see the petition as the only thing that's gonna take the change. There's no way.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
How crucial is it though? The petition. How crucial is it?
It's crucial because it's what society are used to.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Are we saying you have to wake them out of the matrix?
Yeah. You give them something that they've seen before. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone has seen a petition.
Yeah.
So give them a petition, but then it doesn't just stop at the petition. Do you get what I mean? It's gonna lead them on to something else. Do you get what I mean? So that's why literally, man, I'm out here working. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's like it needs to change. Do you get what I mean? And in my lifetime, it's got to be done. You see what I'm saying? In my lifetime, it's got to be done, innit? Because when I look through history and I just watch gradually as race relations have gotten better and in some places where they've gotten worse, sometimes you just need a new idea. Do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes someone's got to come through and break down how it really is out here. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I ain't about to see my children go through the same cycle. No way. You see what I'm saying? Without me doing something. Like, no more, man. So, yeah, man. Anyone watching this, if you want to improve race relations, get me, you want to improve the society we're in, get me, just keep it locked to COE. Of course. You get what I'm saying? Follow the We Are Race campaign. That's R.A.C.E, removing all colour for equality. You get what I mean? Sign the petition. Hit up the link. You get what I mean? And all platforms, We Are Race. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, man. That's how we do it.
Say nothing, fam.
There's gonna be more. This is the beginning.
Yeah.
In a way. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Say nothing, man. Yeah, it's good talking to the brother still.
You too, man.
Don't know, fam. Yeah.
For having me.
We're gonna be gonna definitely make something happen in the future real soon, you get me?
Trust me.
Yeah?
Trust me.
Don't know
Keep it
you.
locked.
Alright, fam. We out.
Go.
Bless.